the VAR officials have just bottled it. They should have been down to 10 men. This just should have been. I'd like for anyone in the comments to tell me otherwise, because I can't see it. Lads, welcome back to a brand new match reaction and another defeat. Arsenal 2, Sheffield United 1. I think if McGoldrick didn't score that goal right at the end and we weren't talking about our first goal of the season, I think I'd be in a lot worse mood than what I am in right now. Now, it's not a good mood. Let's put it that way. And it's not because of the result. It's just because of how badly we played going forward, shall we say. We did nothing. Well, we barely did anything, shall we say. We'll start from the beginning. And I didn't think we played too badly in the first half. I thought Arsenal, obviously, we gave them most of the ball. That's fair enough. Arsenal, very, very good team. But in this game, they didn't have any Lacazette on the pitch. Pepe was a sub. They had to bring him on to score a goal, fair enough. But he was a sub. Maitland-Niles as well wasn't starting. So it makes me think that they took this game a lot lighter than what they probably would have done last season, which really just shows where we are at the moment. We've lost now 4 games in a row. We are going to be one of those teams that other teams expect to beat. Now, unless we put that right very, very soon, which would be the Fulham game, then we're going to keep being that team that everyone's expecting to beat. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world, because if teams are coming expecting to beat us, then they're probably going to put a worse side out, and they may kind of not be completely on the game. Anyway, I don't want to be that team. I really don't. I want us to be playing like we did last season. But for me, the reason why I'm so disappointed is just what's happened to how we attack. We don't. My dad said to me earlier, "Oh, it seems like teams have found us out." We're not even trying. We're not going to the Emirates like we did last season and trying to kind of force the wide overloads, nice intricate passing and getting to the byline. We're not doing any of that. All we're doing, especially in that first half, was just lumping the ball long for Ollie Burke to chase. I don't want to watch that. I'm just really disappointed. I thought we'd be doing a lot better than this. I thought we'd trying at least to play. We play nice-ish football in the middle, but it's not going anywhere, is it? Like, McGoldrick's brilliant, don't get me wrong, but it's not. I don't know. We're just expecting Ollie Burke to do everything up front, try and nick the ball, try and run onto stuff. And at times, it was really, really isolated, especially in that first half. But anyway, we're going to talk about Ollie Burke. Nice little segue into talking about that. Because David Luiz possibly should have been sent off earlier on in the game. Not even a booking, which was a little bit annoying, because John Egan was sent off for something similar. Now, at first glance, I thought, nah, he's had a little pull. That's about it. And it was a little pull. Don't get me wrong. Like, but the reason why it was only a little pull was because that's all he needed to do to slightly put him off, because we know how fast Ollie Burke is. Ollie Burke is absolutely rapid. And when he just pulled him back a little bit like that, that stopped him from getting to that ball and rounding that goalkeeper, because Leno was well out. It wasn't like he was last man and he just gave him a little tug. The keeper had come out to clear the ball. Now, that little tug, if he wouldn't have done that, he'd have been straight onto it. There would have been no kind of sluggish, because obviously he pulled him back, so you like that and then you've got to go again. And to be fair, Burke nearly blocked that ball from Leno trying to clear it. So that shows how close he was, even with the pull. So at first glance, I thought, oh no, if we're looking for that, we need to kind of look at ourselves a little bit. But looking back in slow motion, you've seen how close he was to the goalkeeper, and that little pull, that was a goal scoring opportunity. It was. It just was. If he doesn't pull him, he gets to that ball first. No doubt about it. Now, nobody can say that he wouldn't get to that ball first. Not even David Luiz or Leno themselves. So it's just another decision that's not gone for us. Like, John Egan, if I'm being honest, I thought John Egan's was a red card against Aston Villa. But then I saw it from a different angle that I've never seen on Sky at half-time. And Watkins did have his arm round him way more than I thought. So anyway, we're not talking about that, but it was very, very similar. And it's just terrible officialing, really, isn't it? Because the referee's given a decision and then the VAR officials have just bottled it, really, aren't they? They've just looked at it and been like, we can't give a decision that's not a referee's decision unless it's clear and obvious, which actually for me, that looked clear and obvious. Anyway, let's move on from that. This should have been down to 10 men. This just should have been. I'd like for anyone in the comments to tell me otherwise because I can't see it. I cannot see it whatsoever. Anyway, then we move on to a challenge that again, maybe I'm biased, but Sander Berge went in, clipped the ball away from Aubameyang, followed through. Fair enough. That's football. That happens. Or it did when I were a kid anyway. You'd see someone make a challenge and then go through someone. It's, for me, I know this is how football works these days, but for me, it is not a booking. He's won the ball and he's gone through him afterwards by accident. He's not meant to do it, has he? It's just, I don't get football these days. Was it dangerous? Possibly. But at the same time, why are we... Like, there's been so many other these challenges years ago. Nothing said at all about them, just good challenge. These days, every little thing's a booking. Earlier on in the game, I saw George Baldock just clip someone from behind, kind of by accident. I were expecting it to come up on the bottom of the screen, George Baldock booking. I just were, and it wasn't, but it wouldn't have shocked me if the least little thing was a booking these days. Anyway, so, first off, I thought we defended quite well. I think the only real chance that they had was Aubameyang from distance that Ramsdale actually did very, very well to get a fingertip to that. It was probably either going to hit the bar or going over the bar or something, but he had to make sure of it, and it was a great fingertip save. It was his own fault in the first place because when he passed it out, you could see from behind, kind of in front of him, when the camera came so that you could see him passing it, and it looked like it were going to Egan and then just veered off to one of their players. And then obviously Aubameyang had the shot from that. Very good shot. Really, really unlucky. It looked like it was dipping as well. So great fingertip from Ramsdale. It didn't look like he got anything on it from... I thought it had just hit the roof of the net, but excellent save. Right. So, second half. I thought we were just going to carry on as we were doing, which we kind of did. We were sat back. We weren't really trying to attack them. I can't really remember us having a shot in the first half. I can't really remember us getting forward that much other than that Ollie Burke kind of pullback. I'm trying to think of anything else. I thought we played, again, some nice football in the midfield, but it wasn't really going anywhere, which last season it would have done. Would have been getting Ender Stevens high up the pitch, would have been getting Jack O'Connell, would have been getting Basham and Baldock. It just feels like Wilder's just scared of conceding goals now. So it's like all 5 defenders need to be back at all times. That's just what it looks like to me. So let's get to the goal. The first goal, it was a calamity, an absolute calamity. And from first watch, it didn't look like it. It just looked like, oh, why is he at the back post on his own? Some great football by Arsenal. And then it was kind of like, oh, we've left him unmarked. But when you actually look at it, El Neni came through the middle. Egan flew out. You're the central defender. You need to be holding your position. El Neni's not what. He's not a Pepe. He's not an Aubameyang. He's not one of these players that is going to be kind of smashing a ball in the back of the net from the edge of the box. And if he does, put your hands up and say fair play. But he's not one of them players. So the fact that Egan just left his position and just flew out at him, and then he just had it passed round him because he laid it into Aubameyang, went for a 1-2, it went a bit further. But that's Egan completely out of his position, first of all. Basham was marking Aubameyang, so Basham did nothing wrong. But Baldock then had to fill in that gap that Egan had left. So he was completely ball watching. He was waiting for the ball to come in. And he was marking Saka. He was grabbing him. before kind of the ball was anywhere near the being crossed. So we know he was touch tight, and we know that that's where he knew he had to be. And then he just kind of drifted into the middle because of what Egan had done. And I'm not saying that he should have done that. He definitely needed to stay with his marker because that's where it went. But I understand why he did it, because that gap was completely open. Someone could have just waltzed in there and just had a free header into the back of the net. But Basham then obviously tried to get across, couldn't get there. Saka headed it in. But then on the line, and I know it's difficult to say because I'm not there, Baldock was there, but he went to head it and Baldock kind of just, I don't know, just slouched. I'm surprised he didn't jump at all. And I know it's quick reactions like that, but I'm surprised he didn't do what he could to put the player off. But Saka heads it in the back of the net. It's 1-0. It's one mistake because I don't think we really made any mistakes up to that point defensively. And then obviously we were all disorientated and stuff. We were annoyed that we conceded a goal, and then we got sucker punched with another one. That one, I tweeted out that you can't really blame anyone. I think that Ender Stevens just got a little bit done, didn't he? He went touch tight with Pepe, and the problem is when you go touch tight with someone who's so quick, it were a quick 1-2 and he were gone. And Stevens just couldn't keep up with him because he weren't quick enough, which is fair enough. But when you're going to get touch tight, you either need to win the ball or you need to bring him down. And he didn't do either, and Pepe got away. As John Egan was kind of backing off, for me, I feel like he just needs to play him onto his right. Take him onto his right because he hasn't really got a right foot, Pepe. Make sure he's not going to strike that ball with his left foot. But at the same time, it was an excellent finish. Right in the corner, right just in off the post. Ramsdale, no chance. And he did take it really early. And no centre-back's going to expect a striker to take it that early. So, fair enough. It was an excellent finish. Great. Well, they were both really, really well worked, both goals. And that's the quality that Arsenal's got. Anyway, so we thought that's it. Game's over. And I think the players did as well. Because the players just didn't seem interested. Everything was going really slow. We didn't look like we wanted to get forward and score a goal. I think the only two players that really wanted to score a goal was the goal scorer McGoldrick and Baldock, because it looked like he wanted to make up for his mistake. And they were the two that kind of... Baldock assisted McGoldrick for the goal. Baldock brought it out, laid it off to McGoldrick. McGoldrick found a little bit of space. Obviously, Arsenal players didn't expect 2 goals from last season McGoldrick to bend one in the far corner with his wrong foot. I didn't even expect it, to be honest. I'd have probably not expected it, but expected it a little bit more on his right. But that left foot curling right in the corner, Leno had no chance. Right in the corner. What a finish. What a finish from McGoldrick. But then, I can't remember what minute was it? 83rd. I thought there were 6 minutes left, so it obviously had gone into the 84th, I believe. So, when we were actually kind of getting the ball back in play. So, we didn't start playing our football until 6 minutes before time, or kind of the 84th minute. Because even before that, when McGoldrick scored the goal, we weren't particularly playing well. We were playing really poor. We were playing like we did not care. We were playing like we'd been beaten already. What's happened to this Sheffield United spirit? What has happened to it? Now, we saw that in the last 6 minutes, but it's not good enough. It's too late. Why are we just sat back and kind of trying to absorb all this pressure and just hoping that Ollie Burke does something at the other end? How are we expecting to score goals if we just sat back all game? And I know it's Arsenal, and I know that they're a better team than us on paper and on the pitch. But we can't expect McGoldrick to bend one in the far corner every single week to get us firing. We were brilliant after that. If he'd have done it in the 70th minute, it might be a different story. We might be talking about a draw or even a win. But the only thing is, we ended that game very, very well. The only positive I'm taking from this game is we ended that game very, very well. And if it had gone on for another 5 or 10 minutes, we may have got another. We may have got an equaliser. And it would have been nice to play Fulham kind of like within a few days, because everyone's like absolutely buzzing after scoring that goal and then finishing the game well. But now we're going to go into international duty, and you know how rubbish we are after international duty. So hopefully, this goal's galvanised them a little bit into going and beating Fulham. Now, we've got a few players that are going to be going on international duty. I don't know exactly, but it's obviously going to be the Irish lads, which is Egan, Stevens, Didsey. That's 3 players that will be playing against Fulham, or hopefully will be playing, unless they pick up a knock or something like that. Then we've got Sander Berge, Norway. He will be playing. Then we've got Ollie Burke, possibly starting for Scotland, and Ollie McBurney as well. There's a lot of players there, and I'm sure there's more that I can't even think of. Ramsdale probably is. I don't know. Sorry, I've not done any research on it. But there's loads. And if anyone picks any injuries up, we're going to struggle. I know Brewster's going to be ready and raring to go for the Fulham game, but Brewster has not played much football. And I'm not sure if he's even played since I think it was the Charity Shield when he missed a penalty for him to lose it at Liverpool. I'm not sure he's even played since then. So he's not going to start, I don't think, against Fulham unless someone gets injured. I think it's probably going to be Burke and McGoldrick again. It's definitely got to be Didsey after scoring that goal. I've wrote a few things for us to take away. Obviously, we've scored a goal. We're not waiting for that goal still. McGoldrick looks like he's confident at shooting at goal now, which is mad because last season he was the least confident. Now he's the most confident. So it's great that Didsey's now got 2. 1 in the league, 1 in the cup. I thought Ollie Burke was excellent. I thought he was really, really good at what he did, what Wilder will have told him to do. Try your best to stretch the defence. He possibly could have resulted in David Luiz getting sent off. I thought it was great, and I think he should do that role away from home, just not at home. I don't want to see, because I don't think he's an excellent footballer. I think he's good with the ball at his feet, but I think the ball kind of bounces off him quite a lot. So holding the ball up, I don't think he's great at, but he's great at stretching the defenders. If I'm honest, Sander Berge was annoying me a little bit today, only because he was dawdling on the ball so much. But I don't think that was his fault. I think when he's bringing it out of defence, he's looking for players, and no one was making any moves. And he's dawdling with it because he's like, come on, move for me. I don't want to see him at central defensive midfield. I want to see him at right centre mid, where he's got more, when he can affect our attacking football more. Because Lundstram, for me, I don't think Lundstram's playing badly, but I don't particularly think he's playing that well. I don't think he's not reaching the heights of last season, obviously the beginning of last season. I'd just like to see Sander Berge in that role, and I think what Sander Berge would bring more to that right centre mid role than the defensive midfield role, because Ollie Norwood's got that wand of a right foot, and that's why Ollie Norwood is so good at defensive midfield, because he can pick these passes out. Sander Berge's biggest kind of advantage is that he's great at running with the ball. And when he's running with the ball from defensive midfield, he can't run past 5 or 6 players. That's not his game. But he's bringing it out quickly. And then he's like looking for a pass, and he's got no passes on. So for me, I'd like to see Ollie Norwood back at defensive midfield. And then I'd like to see Sander Berge, right centre mid. For me, I'm just not a massive Jack Robinson fan. I don't mind him. I think he's fine for covering. But I don't want to see him there for the rest of the season because Jack O'Connell's not fit. He doesn't get up and do the whole overlapping. And I know Basham isn't doing it at the moment, but he doesn't do it anyway. Even if Basham was doing it and Wilder was telling him to do it, he wouldn't be doing it anyway. I do think he gets caught out sometimes. He did get done for ball watching against Leeds and left Bamford. I just don't think he's good enough going forward or as a defender. So I'd like to see Ampadu there, even though he's right-footed. I just would. It's annoying me that we're not playing the Sheffield United way. We're not overlapping. We're not getting those kind of wide overloads going on so that we are startling teams. Today, that would have worked really well, I think, with Arsenal, because I do think that Arsenal are poor at the back. And that's about it, really. I've probably nattered on for quite a while. I've nattered on for 20 minutes, so we'll leave it just about there. Oh, what we're going to do? We need to beat Fulham. That is the main thing. If we beat Fulham, it's back on. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get relegated or anything like that, but I felt like when we went 1-0 down and then 2-0 down, we were playing like a relegated team. Like we didn't think we were going to get back into the game. And that's not how we played last season. So we really need to book our ideas up. Now, we've scored a goal. We've finished the game really, really well. So hopefully that will give them the motivation and momentum to try and beat Fulham. Because Fulham have lost every game as well. But let's think about the teams that we need to be beating teams around us this season. We're not going to be beating Chelsea, beating Spurs, beating Arsenal. Possibly we may do one of them, but we're not going to be beating them as much as what we did last season. So we need to take points off West Brom. We need to take points off Fulham. We need to take points off Palace, Burnley, Brighton possibly. But Palace, Brighton are playing really well. Burnley will come good at some point, we know that. Unless Fulham and West Brom do something miraculously, go on an amazing run, them two are probably going down. Let's just not be that team that goes down with them. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I really, really would love to hear what you guys think today, because that game really annoyed me at times. Yeah, like the video, subscribe for more. Stay good, Nick.
Look at that ping from Norwood. Makes some of the teams look no good. Yeah. We've got a team full of leaders. Alan Hill, Chris Wilder taught us. Right. Yeah, there was us on the tour bus. Yeah. Look how many goals Billy scored us. It's beautiful downtown Bromley Lane. We are the boys from Shore.